Greetings, my friends, my trail friends. It's Woody with Trail Wisdom out on a little hike today, heading up to the PCT. I'm doing a loop out of Elk Lake Trailhead. Um, and we were gone for 9 days back in North Carolina. It rained most every day when we were there, which is kind of normal for this time of year there. Nothing terrible. We did have a couple of gully washers there, but we got lucky in terms of being able to do something most every day. But I'd heard of a pretty serious rainstorm here in the Bend area. Apparently, they had trucks out vacuuming water out of underpasses, which sounded to me like that had to be a very extensive event. So, wanted to come out and take a look at trail um, and shoot a quick video and talk a little bit about Trail Tread Watershed and water management on trail. We don't have a lot of rain events here in Central Oregon or Oregon for that matter. Most of our precip comes in the form of snow, but every once in a while, maybe once or so a year, we do get a pretty significant rain event, and this one certainly sounds like it was one of those events. So Trail Tread Watershed is everything that can drain on any particular section of trail. And up above us, we see it's a healthy forest, a lot of downfall, and so not a lot of water coming from up above down onto trail. Obviously, one thing that would change that pretty significantly would be a fire, and we do see pretty significant erosion after fire events because the Trail Tread Watershed changes dramatically. So the main thing here is the trail itself. And what is the functional distance between one drainage feature and another? And I've been harping on this for years. I'll hear people say that they maintain trail, and what they really have done is gone in and logged out. And that's 1/3 of, what you need to do in terms of truly maintaining a trail. Managing vegetation, downfall, cutting downfall, brushing out, and then managing the users to keep them where we want them to be. So anyway, I definitely got a great example here. So I wanted to point that out. As you see, not bad erosion heading up this way at all. I see a little bit of a rock water bar kind of thing right there. I'm not sure how functioning that is. We'll check that out in just a minute, and that couldn't be more than about 50 feet away from where I'm standing. But as you see, water coming down, a little bit of a sediment deposit right here. But here we see something that I've talked about before, and that is how water goes over these steps and really accelerates. And we see that very clearly right here. Water comes down to this point. This step feature has not turned water at all. It's 50 feet back that way before water has been turned. And this step basically really accelerated the water as it dropped down off of the step. And we see significantly higher level of erosion right here and leading down behind us than we do up here. So when we put these steps in, check steps, steps, whatever they may be, we really need to be thinking about how are we going to manage the water as much as possible, because the step itself does nothing to turn water off of the trail, does nothing to manage water. And in some ways, as we're looking at right now, it accelerates water, and we see significantly higher level of erosion going down this section of trail all the way down. We see a little bit of a leadoff ditch here. So this is a drainage feature that was intended but has not been maintained. And part of that is because of the speed, the rate that water is coming down here. And again, it gets accelerated over this step. Water wants to go in a straight line. And so it continues on and skips over this particular drainage feature. Can't speak to how well this was initially built, but obviously this needs to be dug out significantly more. You know, that soil could be used to place down here to give us a tread dip and then a tread crest, and then our leadoff ditch. But again, you know, I can see down 50 feet, you know, from me, 40, 50 feet from me is the next drainage feature. We see a rock water bar situation going on right here, down there. And it looks like that did capture the water and send it off. There probably is a bit of a deposit, you know, a sandy soil deposit that's off trail somewhere. Now the good news is that as this starts to dry out, you know, trails have really not dried out that much. It's still early June, you know, and a lot of years this could be under snow at this point in time, but not this year. We didn't have much snow. As this starts to dry out, as the soil starts to dry out, users will sort of kick it up, and that soil will sort of start to settle back into that low spot into the middle. And so in some ways, you know, this section of trail could be what I consider to be self-healing. You know, this clearly illustrates, you know, what happens with steps. Step downs, you know, whether they're check steps, whether they're regular steps. And it also calls for the need for, you know, better water management. You know, again, we get away with, you know, murder out here in terms of making a lot of trail mistakes because it just doesn't rain that much. But, you know, every once in a while, there is a rain event that does cause some damage. And, you know, kind of points out, you know, mistakes that can be made. This particular drainage feature that we were looking at from down below, it did work, for sure. You know, it's kind of a rock ribbed thing, rock ribbed water bar. Not my favorite, but it did work. And we see, you know, here how the water was getting off at this location at the leadoff ditch. Again, looking back, that step is 40 to 50 feet away from us now. Let's just take a quick look on up and around this corner and see what we might find up here. And here's another one almost immediately 20 feet away that did work. So that's good. But again, you know, trail maintenance is much more than log out. You know, unfortunately, log out is, you know, kind of what a lot of people focus on, just to get the trails cleared out in the spring. But there needs to be more than just log out. So, all right, what are you checking out?